You're watching Ticket TV. Like, share, and subscribe on your way in.
Salute everybody. What's good? Let y'all get on in the building. Like, share, and subscribe as y'all tap on in, man. Appreciate everybody that's in here. We definitely get ready to get into this right now. I got some breaking news for y'all. Man, bro, I hope this man parents don't do this, bro. I got some breaking news for all y'all. I'm just gonna let y'all get in here real quick. I'm gonna let everybody get in here. I got some breaking news for all of y'all. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Like, share, and subscribe as y'all come on in here. Hopefully you guys will get the notification, man. I told y'all I'd keep y'all updated around the clock on this situation. And I have some breaking news. I'm finna tell y'all this just a second. Get a couple people in here and let y'all know what's going on. This is a live stream, so this is why I'm doing this like this. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Appreciate the lady who sent me $100 donation today in the Cash App. Much love to you, ma'am. And everybody else who sent donations, man. Marvella, $100 donation to Cash App. Salute to you. April Robinson, salute to you. Carl Ray, salute to you. Anthony Smith, salute to you. Sonia Fuller, Yasana, Deshaun, and everybody else that sent donations to Cash App. Salute to you. I have a breaking news update. Karmelo Anthony, I hope your family hears this. I hope Anthony's family hears this message that I'm about to say. Please. And I hope all the celebrities and everybody else that's tapped in, please, you guys need to hear this message. All you all you big time celebrities that got major bag, do not set up any more fundraisers. Give the money straight to them because they're trying to shut down this boy fundraisers. Send the money straight to them or send the money and go pay for the lawyer for them and just keep it quiet, right? And you just pay the lawyer for them. You contact them and let them know that y'all going to pay the lawyer. Don't do it no more in GoFundMe's or go give sins because they're going to shut all those down. They're shutting all this boy stuff down. I have an update tonight. Now I came in here earlier today and I told you guys this, and they said, "Oh, Ticket, oh, what you looking at? You don't know what you're talking about." Man, I got some new update tonight, and I'm finna let y'all know right now what's going on with this boy appeal. That boy filed that appeal and made a big ass mistake, man. This boy filed the appeal and made a big mistake, and he gonna need some people. And don't y'all come in here telling me about no Charleston White. He's a joke. He gonna need some big people that got $1 million pockets coming in here that, you know what I'm saying, is willing to stand on business. This boy just made a huge mistake. Now I came in here earlier and I mentioned this to y'all earlier today about Carmelo Anthony's lawyer in the trial. And did he ask for a change of venue? And I told you guys, Carmelo Anthony is going to mess around and get I told you guys he's going to get an appeal. A lot of people came and was talking crazy to me. They were disrespecting me in the comment section, told me I didn't know what I was talking about. I brought up various points. Everybody knows all the points I brought up on this channel. I brought up the judge. I brought up all of the different allegations of corruption that went on down there inside of Collin County over the last 30 years. I brought up the judge's father and the corruption that was alleged on him. You understand what I'm saying? I brought up as well as the beautiful sister over here, the doctor who brought it up yesterday. Salute to her. She brought up the DA and she brought up the assistant DA. And she blasted them in that lawsuit. And I went and digged in that lawsuit and saw all that stuff. And then we went even further and saw this stuff on the judge. I went and told y'all about Jake Lang, the weak weasel that was outside the courthouse. I went and told you guys about that sorry ass lawyer they had and the fact that the lawyer did not ask for a change of venue when they had to move because their life was threatened. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I have a new update and I have new news, and I'm finna break it to y'all right now. Law and Crime has just came out, and they have Jesse Weber from Law and Crime. He believes that Carmelo Anthony has a serious case for an appeal. But I'm going to tell y'all something. Carmelo Anthony's family did a big mistake. Let me say this again. Carmelo Anthony's parents made a huge mistake in the appeal. If Carmelo Anthony's parents are listening to this video, please listen. Do not ask for Carmelo Anthony's parents asked for a court-appointed lawyer on their appeal application. I can't believe this, man. Carmelo Anthony's parents said that they are broke and they don't have the money to pay for another lawyer, and they want a court-appointed lawyer for their appeal. This cannot happen. All of you celebrities that's running your mouth, all of y'all 20, 30, 40, $50 million celebrities, get behind this man's family and go get this man a real lawyer. All of y'all celebrities that's out here talking, y'all got hundreds of millions of dollars. Get this man some real representation. It has been revealed tonight, ladies and gentlemen, that in Carmelo Anthony's appeal application, that he has asked for a court-appointed attorney to represent him. That is diabolical. And this is why I told y'all when I went, let me say this. This is why I went in on the parents. This is the reason why I snapped on the parents in the other video I did. Because how can y'all listen, I know you might not have the money, right? They took the give, send, go, right? But ladies and gentlemen, parents, you guys, all these celebrities, bro, they had somebody get these people tapped in with the right celebrities that got a bag that's willing to put behind a stupid bag. I'm finna show y'all that they just revealed this information that in Carmelo Anthony's appeal, in his appeal application, that he asked for a court-appointed attorney. He asked for a public defender because his parents say they're poor and now they don't really have that money to pay for a public defender. My heart dropped. My heart dropped. Because it's one thing if you say, hey, we got a fundraiser and y'all can donate to the fundraiser. Cool, no problem. But you can't donate to the fundraiser no more because they're shutting his fundraisers down. And so that means you're going to need a person with stupid deep pockets. Like one of these multi-million-dollar celebrities to buy this dude a lawyer. Y'all not hearing what I'm saying? Everybody said somebody said, didn't they raise money? You're not listening. That Give, Send, Go got shut down. Give, Send, Go is the person who doles out the money once you get it. Give, Send, Go put out a message and said they shut down his donations. And the reason why they shut down his donations is because they said that the description of his donations is out of here now. It was for him to leave out of that place they was in and get to a safer place, and for their defense. They no longer are at trial with the defense and are using that. So now they don't have any money. They don't have the money for the high-priced lawyer they need to move forward. So in this boy's application, he filed the appeal application, and y'all not going to believe this. This is the reason why some $1 million celebrity has to secretly go and front that lawyer and pay that lawyer for them. Law and Crime have just revealed, and I told y'all this. Y'all going to start effing with me the long way on this channel. Law and Crime just revealed that boy got a chance at a real shot at an appeal for the reasons I told y'all on here. And I told y'all that first. Now, Law and Crime just dropped the video. I'm about to show y'all right now. They just dropped the video, and they just told y'all why that Carmelo Anthony, even though, and this is white guys on there, they said Jesse Weber and those guys, even though, listen what I'm telling y'all saw everything what y'all saw. Carmelo, he said, man, Carmelo got a real shot at an appeal, bro. He got a real shot at an appeal, but the problem is going to be that lawyer. Now, let's get to this. And I showed y'all on this page first that Carmelo's defense attorney, Mike Howard, did not file a motion for a change of venue. I told y'all that this morning. I told y'all that's the first thing he should have did. When they went and threatened that boy's parents, he should have filed for a motion to move the trial. But I told y'all why he didn't do it. I believe Mike Howard didn't do it because he was afraid. He was afraid that if he moved that to a different jurisdiction and they won that case, that all them people in Collin County would have ran down on him and his family. And I believe he was afraid, and I believe that's the reason why he didn't ask. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I believe is the reason why he didn't ask for that. I believe he knew that he has to live there. He has to work there. And I believe he knew that if he moved that case to a different jurisdiction, if he pushed to get him, because he had legitimate reasons, and if he did, I believe he knew they was going to come for him. They was going to come for him because I heard he was already getting threats. See, this is the part they don't tell y'all. I heard that the lawyer was already getting threats for even taking the case from them people down there in Collin County, from them stone cold racists and all them people. He was already getting threats. So I believe, and for the safety of his family and the people he had that lived down there. But then that's why I believe he should have recused himself from the case. Because to me, if you couldn't effectively defend that boy, you should have recused yourself. You should have removed yourself from the case. That's why I know he was irresponsible, because he didn't remove himself from the case because he didn't get that boy the best shot to win, and the best shot to win was in a different jurisdiction, and they had every right to. And everything I told y'all on here, I want everybody to listen before I show y'all this right now. Remember all them racists that came in my comments earlier today and told me I didn't know what I was talking about? Decision final, no appeal, all that shit. Remember what y'all told me? Remember what they was telling me in the comments? And I stood on business. I was right. And I'm finna show y'all right now. Let's go. This just dropped, as y'all can see, 2 hours ago. Y'all finna see how I was cooking. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. I did the video and I got criticized yesterday because I did the video 2 days ago criticizing Karmelo's parents for the lawyer they chose. Now they said, look, we went to black lawyers and they told us to go get the white lawyer. Man, listen, you don't let nobody tell you what you're gonna do when that's your kid. Period. To the person who said they shut down the GoFundMe a while back. No, they didn't. They just shut it down as soon as the trial was over with. That's wrong. They just shut it down as soon as the trial was over with. Matter of fact, the message is up and they talked about it tonight. So that's not true. It's a lot of misinformation being put out here. Much love to you, Shantae B, but that's not true. You know, I got to put out the real information. Now, I told all y'all that boy had a real shot at an appeal and they ain't want to listen to me. They thought I was on here capping. Well, guess what, y'all? I'm finna show y'all now. Them white boys on Law and Crime, they said the same thing I said. And people mad than a mofo. Let's get to it. Let's get to it, y'all. They mad than a mofo.
Controversy surrounding the story refuses to die. Was justice served, or is there more to the story? Karmelo's parents, they're fighting, and also the judge who oversaw the trial is now speaking out, and he had an unexpected message about Karmelo Anthony that's turning some heads. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. It took the jury less than 3 hours to find Karmelo Anthony guilty of murder, and then another roughly 3 hours.
To the person in the comment section, let me say this to y'all. To the person in the comment section who said you think they're going to get good lawyers this time. Bro, you're not listening to what I just said. I don't think you're listening to what I just said, brother or sister. Sister Terry, beautiful. I don't think you understand what I just said. Karmelo Anthony filled out his appeal application. They're going to show you his appeal application. It breaks my spirit because if we could all donate, we would donate to the Give, Send, Go again. They shut it down and GoFundMe is not going to help them, right? Somebody tell the parents. I don't have a contact to the parents. So somebody tell the parents to get a Cash App, get a PayPal account and post it. Somebody tell the parents, please tell the parents, right? And to the person who said he was shipped to a facility by Metcalf, that's a lie. That's a lie. Also, matter of fact, let me tell y'all this right now. Here's the truth. He was never shipped to any facility with Metcalf. He was shipped to the facility that's 3 hours away, and the facility that he's been shipped to is a low security facility. Let me repeat myself again. He has been shipped to a low security prison. So he's not in a max security prison. He's in a low security prison right now. That's where he was shipped to 3 hours from where he was living, right? The problem is, and I'm going to say this again, please, I don't have a contact to his parents. If y'all hear this video, y'all can hit me up, man. Please get these people a Cash App or a PayPal if they can't get one of these celebrities to front that bread. And that way everybody can send to that. Everybody can help them people. Let me tell y'all something. What they did was, and I'm going to say it again. They filled out this boy's application, man, for an appeal. And they put on the appeal application that they want a court-appointed attorney. My heart broke when I saw that a few minutes ago. My spirit broke. They're going to get crushed again. If they go through and get a court-appointed attorney, they're going to get railroaded again for the appeal. Jesse Weber and them, they believe Jesse Weber is white and these other guys. They do all of these crime cases. They believe what I believe, y'all. And I told y'all this on this channel. They believe that Karmelo Anthony has serious grounds for an appeal to get a new trial. Jesse Weber said the question is, can he win the new trial? And that's a real question. If you got a court-appointed lawyer, you're not finna win the trial. You're not finna win a trial, man. Let me play this, man. Let me play this for y'all. Let's go.
On the case presented by Law and Crime, I'm Chris Stewart. It took the jury less than 3 hours to find Karmelo Anthony guilty of murder, and then another roughly 3 hours to determine that his punishment would be 35 years in prison. Now, on one hand, that sent a strong message that the 12 jurors who saw this trial, they didn't really buy the argument that Karmelo's defense was making. And now there are some new questions being raised, and especially being raised by Karmelo's parents, about how the defense approach this case that we're going to talk about here in a moment, because this story is only gaining steam and getting more attention since the verdict earlier this week. And I'm going to update you on everything that is developing right now. And Jesse Weber, host of Sidebar here on Law and Crime, he's going to be with me here in just a moment to talk through how this trial went and what an appeal potentially could look like.
Y'all know y'all wrong. I swear to God, I'm sick of this. I'm tired of this.
Now, this is video here of the group.
Ma'am, you're wrong, ma'am. Ma'am, let me stop you. I got to stop you, ma'am. Ma'am, I saw you in the comment section, and I'm talking to you, ma'am. I'm talking to you, Miss Toy. Miss Toy 52. I'm talking to you, baby. Let me say something to you, baby. You're totally wrong. Low security prison does not mean that they don't care about him. That's the best place he wants to be. That's the best place he wants to be. What are you talking about? The place you don't want him is in a max level security. You don't want him on that yard. In a low security prison, he gonna do easy time. It's more lax. They're not gonna have those type of. Matter of fact, he is lucky he's in a low security prison. So y'all got to get information right. I love you, baby. Y'all got to get information correct. I'm come on here. I tell people the truth. I don't come in here and make up lies and say anything just to arouse people. But I don't want you to come in here and say wrong information because people spreading this shit. Him being in a low security prison is the best. Period. He's in a low security prison. Google AI ain't right. That's not true. You're a liar, sir. Stop lying. Stop lying. Right? And I'm going to say this again. Listen to what I said, and you're wrong, Quat, man. Because Law and Crime is saying that he got a great chance at an appeal. And I'm finna play it for y'all tonight for the exact reasons I told y'all. Right? He's at a low security prison right now. I'm finna show y'all right now. I'm finna prove it. I'm finna prove it right now. I'm finna pull it up. You said pull it up live? I'll put up live for you right now. Here you go. They're going to talk about it right now. Here you go. Since you think I'm lying, sir, I'll put up for you right now. All right? Let's go.
Sidebar here on Law and Crime. He's going to be with me here in just a moment to talk through how this trial went and what an appeal potentially could look like.
Y'all know y'all wrong. I swear to God, I'm sick of this. I'm tired of this.
Now, this is video here of the group that was outside the courthouse in McKinney, Texas, the day of the verdict earlier this week, where we did see some tension. I also want to show you this. This is the new mugshot that we received of Karmelo Anthony since he is now in state prison in Texas. You can see in this mugshot, he has his head shaved. Now, we have learned that Karmelo will begin serving his prison sentence here, the Wallace Pack unit in Navasota, Texas. It's roughly 3.5 hours away from where he stabbed Austin Metcalf to death at that track meet in Frisco outside Dallas in April of 2025. What we know about this prison, it's all males. It is roughly 1,500 inmates, and it's a minimum security prison. Now, Karmelo
told you, a minimum security prison. Now, see you running your fat mouth and you carve my name, Ticket Too Real. Shut up, dog. You sound stupid, man. Stop this, bro. Please stop embarrassing yourself, dog. He's at a minimum level prison. Period. Period, dog. Period. Where you don't want him to be is in a max level. And a max level is where they put all the goons, nigga. The max level is where they put all the goons. Right? You need to understand that. So to the lady who said that, y'all need to get the information right on YouTube, man. Listen what I tell you. Yeah, it's an easy unit. I know that. They put him in an easy unit. Right? I'm glad to the brother who said it in the comment section. Right? Right? I'm glad to the brother who said it in the comment section. Because the other dude ain't got no brains. I just showed him right here on the screen where that boy at. Let me play it again for y'all. Let me play it again for y'all. I just showed you where that boy at. And you coming in here running your mouth. He right here.
Texas. It's roughly 3.5 hours away from where he stabbed Austin Metcalf to death at that track meet in Frisco outside Dallas in April of 2025. What we know about this prison, it's all males. It is roughly 1,500 inmates, and it's a minimum security prison.
It's a minimum security prison. I even put it right here for y'all. I even put it right here for y'all.
Right, you're talking.
I even put it right here for y'all.
Austin Metcalf to death at that track meet in Frisco outside Dallas in April of 2025. What we know about this prison, it's all males. It is roughly 1,500 inmates, and it's a minimum security prison. Now, Karmelo Anthony.
There you go, right there. So what is that buffoon in the comment? What is this guy talking about arguing with me? Come on, man, don't do that, bro. I'm keeping it real with you. I'm keeping it real with you. Listen, he's not going to do no crazy. His time is going to go way easier there than them putting him in the max. So to the lady who said, oh, man, no. You don't want him to be in the max. they put him in the max. He ain't going to serve hard time in state prison. You put him in the max, he going to serve hard time. You put him in the max. I'm telling you this right now. You put him in the max. It's going to be hard time. Now, check it out, y'all. This is the part that broke my heart. They filed the appeal, and in the appeal paperwork, they want a court-appointed lawyer. They got to get another lawyer, man. They got to get another lawyer, y'all.
In the note, he stabbed
Here it goes right here.
No, outside Dallas in April of 2025. What we know about this prison, it's all males. It is roughly 1,500 inmates, and it's a minimum security prison. Now, Karmelo Anthony has wasted no time in filing a notice of appeal, and we found a line in the document pretty surprising. Now, this is the notice of appeal. It's filed in Collin County District Court. That's where the trial took place. And in the notice, it says, quote, I am penniless, destitute, an indigent person, too poor to employ counsel to represent me on the appeal, and too poor to pay for or give security of the statement of facts and a true copy thereof herein. So Anthony wants a court-appointed attorney.
I told y'all, man. That shit, that pissed me off right there, bro. That pissed me off, man. That ticked me off right there, bro. Bro, somebody get his parents in contact. They got to get a Cash App to parents. Cash App, PayPal. Somebody tell the parents, put them on game, man. Put the parents on game, man. Because the give, send, go, you know, like I said before, man, they're going to keep shutting their give, send, goes down, man. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to get that boy a new trial, man. At least get him a new trial in a better jurisdiction. That's all. R.I.P. to Austin Metcalf. You know, like I said, we don't wish death on nobody. It's not right that boy have lost his life. But I still don't believe Carmelo Anthony should have been hit on first-degree murder. At the maximum, I believe it should have been a manslaughter charge. And that's just me being honest with y'all. Especially he have no history. He is epilepsy. Carmelo Anthony is legally handicapped. He legally, let me repeat this again. Everybody listen to this video. Legally, he has a disability. Epilepsy is a disability. If you look it up, legally, he has a disability. And I'm being honest with y'all about this. And everybody who's saying this, y'all can say whatever y'all want to say to me. But I'm finna tell y'all this right now. Watch what they say about his appeal right now. They tell y'all the same thing I told y'all. The two white boys on Law and Crime, they said, man, he got a great chance for appeal because the questions he got is legitimate. And it looked like Jesse Weber, as being a white guy, it looked like it bothered him to say that, but he couldn't lie. Because they know they didn't move that boy's venue. And they had to move because of the hostile environment. And they're going to talk about that. Let's keep going. Right? Excuse me, to the person who says a medium level. Okay, yeah, I mean, it's not a max level. Listen, it's not a max level. He not going to be in there in the same conditions as in a max level. His time is going to go easy. That's pretty much what I mean. To the brother in the comments, you right, but that's pretty much what I mean. His time is going to go easy in that prison. He's not going to have hard time in that prison like he would have in a max level security prison. Not happening. You know what I'm saying? He get under somebody solid over there, he'll be all right. Mind his own business. Stay to himself, he'd be all right. Until he get his appeal, he'd be all right. Just stay strong. You know what I'm saying? That's all. Get up, lay down. You feel me? Let's keep going.
Of course.
Shout out to the brother in the comments who said that.
Court, for or give security of the statement of facts and a true copy thereof herein. So Anthony wants a court-appointed attorney for his appeal. And at 19, I mean, you kind of understand. I mean, he's just graduated high school. He's legally an adult. He's now a prison inmate. So it's not a surprise that he doesn't have the money to afford an attorney. But it also raises some questions about the hundreds of thousands of dollars that was raised for his criminal defense. And criminal defense is not cheap. Now, initially, there was a fundraiser last year around the time of his arrest that was put up on GoFundMe, but that was quickly taken down because GoFundMe has a policy where you can't raise money for people who are accused of violent crimes. Give, Send, Go does not have that policy. But after Anthony's guilty verdict in that murder trial, the site brought his fundraiser down. And the reason they said was, quote, the fundraiser was to promote pretrial needs. And those funds were dispersed over the past year for lawful purposes, including legal defense and family relocation. With that stated purpose now complete, the fundraiser has been closed. So the notice of appeal tells us that Anthony would like a court-appointed attorney for his appeal, but it doesn't tell us yet why he is appealing. What would the grounds be for an appeal? We do know, though, through some interviews that his parents gave.
Now, let me stop there right there. He said, we don't know yet why his grounds would be for the appeal. This is the reason why I told y'all to share these videos, so his parents can see these. We got all the grounds for him. I seen a whole bunch of YouTubers reporting on this. Shout out to the doctor, I think her name is Dr. What's her name, y'all? Dr. Caroline? I don't keep forgetting her name, but shout out to her. She threw the alley-oop. Right? On the DA and the assistant DA. That's a cesspool over there. Now, all the parents got to do is have all this information we putting out there. We doing the free research for them. Yeah, Dr. Candace, salute to her. Beautiful, beautiful spirit. Listen, we doing the research for them. All this shit we bringing them on the DA, the assistant DA. Man, they need to take the goddamn feds down there and clean all that stuff out down there. They need to take the feds down there and clean all that shit out. The judge retired at the end of this year doing interviews and shit. The judge got a pass. He got allegations. The judge's daddy, who was a DA down there before in Collin County, and a judge, he got allegations of corruption. He been accused of corruption. The goddamn lawyer, to me, he was scared as hell being down there and having to live down there. He wasn't trying to get the venue moved. Period. He wasn't trying to do that. Listen to what I'm saying to y'all. Then Jake Lane, weirdo ass, did what he did to the jury. I told y'all all this on this channel, and niggas said I was capping. All the people who looked at me, who thought I was just trying to be, who thought, oh, you trying to be racist and take up for Karmelo. No, I'm telling you factual information. That boy got hella grounds for a appeal in a new trial. Watch. He's going to get a new trial. Y'all going to be mad as hell. He's going to get a new trial, and he's going to get in a new jurisdiction, and they're going to be black people on the jury. Mark my words today, so it shall be written, so it shall be done. Peep what I told y'all this. And I've been telling y'all this from the very beginning. Now listen very closely, because Jesse Weber, the white dude, get ready to come on here and tell y'all the same thing I've been telling y'all. And they just did this video 2 hours ago. I've been telling y'all this for the last 48 hours. Since the verdict. Listen to everything they say, and listen to everything I told y'all on this channel for the last 48 hours about that boy. And then you tell me if I'm lying or I'm flying.
Of course, I've 1FM. It was posted to YouTube, and there, Karmelo's parents talked about how they would have potentially defense of their son. I will tell you, we have reached out to Karmelo. Does not have that policy, but after Anthony's guilty verdict in that murder trial, the site brought his fundraiser down. And the reason they said was, quote, the fundraiser was to promote pretrial needs, and those funds were dispersed over the past year for lawful purposes, including legal defense and family relocation. With that stated purpose now complete, the fundraiser has been closed. So the notice of appeal tells us that Anthony would like a court-appointed attorney for his appeal, but it doesn't tell us yet why he is appealing. What would the grounds be for an appeal? We do know, though, through some interviews that his parents gave to 2 outlets that we know about after the verdict, they were not happy with the defense of their son. I will tell you, we have reached out to Karmelo Anthony's parents to come on the show as well. But I do want to run through some of the quotes that they gave in these interviews. Now, in the interviews, they have stood by their son. Not a surprise. They say they do not believe that he intended to kill Austin Metcalf. Quote, my son is no murderer. My son didn't intend to hurt anyone. My son was defending himself. That's Karmelo's mom, Kayla Hayes, telling CBS Texas. Now, Karmelo's parents also say they believe the trial was flawed and unfair. Quote, everyone actually lied on the stand, says Karmelo's mom. Now, there was another interview they gave with the Breakfast Club, Power 105.1 FM. It was posted to YouTube. And there, Karmelo's parents talked about how they would have potentially approached the legal side of the case differently. They said that they do not believe their son got a fair trial. Quote, we got comfortable with the instructions that we were told. We were told not to say nothing. We were told not to do this. So we followed all the instructions that we were told. We were told, don't do this. Don't talk to this person. It was all this, and look what happened to my son, said Karmelo's dad, Drew Anthony, in that interview. Now, Karmelo's dad also said that his son was told that they should not make this case about race, and that was by their attorney. But he said that he believed that race played a role in the outcome. He said the family was advised to get a white attorney. It's unclear who gave that advice. Now, the family also raised some concerns in that interview about there not being a black person on the jury. We had a reporter in the courtroom throughout this trial, Cody Thomas of Court TV, and he reported that the jury was mostly white, wasn't all white, but mostly white. And there were 3 Asian women and 1 person who appeared to be of Middle Eastern descent and 1 other woman of color. The rest of the jury, they were all men and they were all white. So in the trial, the defense also called 6 witnesses. That is compared to the roughly, I think it was 21 witnesses that the state called as they presented their case. And in the Breakfast Club interview, the parents said they don't know why their attorney didn't call more witnesses. The Anthony family also says that they raised concerns with their defense attorney during the trial. They say after the trial, they were given a, quote, corporate answer by their defense about how things went. They didn't elaborate more on what corporate answer means. But they also said that they are looking for a new attorney for the appeal of their son's guilty verdict in this murder trial. In the interview, the family was also asked, I think, a pretty big question, and one that many people, no matter what you feel about the verdict, are wondering. Why did Karmelo Anthony not testify? Karmelo's dad said, quote, based on everything, he didn't need nothing, because everything they said when it's self-defense They have to prove it. They never proved it. Now, it is unclear if it was ever in the plans for Karmelo to testify in this trial and whether it was the attorney who gave the advice that he shouldn't. But we have seen in many high-profile self-defense cases, and Jesse's going to join me here in a moment, we're going to talk about a couple of them, where the defendant does take the stand, and it can be the biggest moment of a trial and be the difference between innocence and guilt. And now the judge who oversaw this case is also speaking out. Judge John Roach of the 296th District Court says that he stands by the verdict that was found in his courtroom. He spoke to WFAA TV in Dallas, and he said in this interview something about Karmelo Anthony that we weren't expecting, considering the guilty verdict in this murder trial. Roach said that he stands by his decision as well not to allow cameras in the courtroom, saying, I know I made people mad, but I'm not here to make them happy either. Now, some had speculated, mostly online, that Roach had some kind of prior relationship with the Metcalf family, and he went on the record denying that, saying he had never met members of the Metcalf family prior to this trial, said he wouldn't have known Jeff Metcalf, Austin's dad, had he walked up to him on the street before all of this happened. And then he was asked whether he believes the jury reached the right verdict. And he said, quote, yes, they did, because they were picked based upon the law. They listened to the facts. It happened in this courtroom, and they got a verdict, Roach said. And he also said this about Karmelo Anthony, quote, he seems like a nice young man who committed a crime, and he understands today more than any day before the consequences of committing a crime like he did. Again, Karmelo Anthony will be roughly 54 years old if he serves his entire 35-year sentence, and he will be eligible for parole in about half that, so 17 and a half years. Join us now to talk more about this is the host of Sidebar here on Law and Crime, Jesse Weber. You can also catch him on Jesse Weber Live.
Now, this is the part y'all want to listen to. Everybody that's in here, this is the part where you listen to what I've been telling y'all for the last 48 hours about this boy appeal, and everybody came saying, Tiki, you capping, man. You don't know what you're talking about. I said, no, you don't know what you're talking about. I told y'all all this information about this boy that I've seen through the trial, after the trial, information. I've dropped all these videos just so y'all can see this. Now, Jesse Weber comes on. Everybody knows Jesse Weber from Law and Crime. He's very educated in these different murder trials. Now, listen to what Jesse Weber says. And the white folks, they mad. Because he says, man, they got a real case for an appeal. They got a real. Now, the question is, can you win the appeal? And that's why I told y'all, the appeal all depends on who his lawyer is. If they get a penny ante lawyer, they're going to lose again. Right? In that appeal, they have to do a couple things. They have to get the new trial in a new jurisdiction away from Collin County, Texas. That's one. Secondly, they have to get a top-notch defense attorney who is specialized in appeals. That's the second thing they have to do. A top-notch defense attorney whose specialty is in appeals on the criminal side. Why? Because what he's going to do is everything that I told y'all on this damn channel. Everything I told y'all was 100% true. Now y'all smash the like button as y'all come in. I've been telling y'all the whole truth the whole time. They laughed at me when I said that the boy has epilepsy. Do you know what that means? That he has epilepsy? Epilepsy, and I'm going to say this again, epilepsy is a disability. I had to look it up because I knew it was. And I'm going to show it to y'all. Read on your screen. Is epilepsy considered a disability? Yes, epilepsy is legally considered a disability. You were supposed to hammer that home in court. All these things I'm telling y'all here on YouTube is because his appeal lawyer have to bring all this shit up in the appeal like I told y'all. If you don't bring this up, you don't bring the doctors in. See, you have to bring that up, and you have to bring in the doctors and the specialists to explain this to the jury so they understand. You can't just have a lawyer go up there and say, hey, he has it. They're not going to hear that. You have to go all out. You have to have the specialist come in there. You have to have an epilepsy seizure specialist come in there. They have to explain why he's able to run track. They said a ticket, but how can he play football? He had to have special clearance to play football. He has to have special clearance to play football and have his medicine. And guess what? Here's the difference in football. I already got the answer to that. Football's an organized sport, but he also has pads of protection. In the bleachers, if you about to fight somebody a few bleachers up and they hit you, you hit your head on bleachers, you don't have no protection out there. You ain't got no helmet, no protection. And you're not expecting this situation, so you're not taking that medicine. Something happened right there, bro, it can get ugly. That's why I told y'all, his lawyers have to present this in court, in the appeal. His lawyers should have already, now, they said his lawyers did say this, but his lawyers did not have, and I'm going to say this again, they did not have the right representation. And to the person in the comment section said he has no grounds for appeal, guess what? I'm about to eat the yo ass right now. I'm about to eat the yo ass right now. Because, you're a white guy, right? No disrespect to you. I don't have no problem with white people. You can come to my channel. I don't have no problem with you. But guess what? I'm going to show you why he got a chance for a big case for an appeal. And guess what? I got a white guy who specializes in this that's going to tell you right now. I have a white guy who specializes in covering these murder trials who going to tell you right now. Now, let me put you back on the Summer Jam screen again. Don't nobody block this dude either, right? Now, you call me a clown, right? Now, I'm going to stir fry you right now. You about to get cooked, dog. You about to get cooked. You about to get cooked. Everybody listen up.
Incredibly emotional, understandably so, with everything that happened. And they're not happy with the defense and how things went. And you certainly see from some of the testimony, some of the things that I think they would have wished they had done differently. But for them potentially to file an appeal based on the fact that they just didn't like the counsel that they got.
It's a great question. First of all, Chris, thanks for having me. I've made it. I'm on the case. Look at this.
I know, right?
My debut.
Listen to his answer, everybody.
Look, everybody has a right to an appeal, and every criminal defendant should file an appeal, unless, of course, they pled guilty, right? Now, I think they have some fair concerns. Woo! It's very difficult for us, even though we've covered the trial and there were no cameras there, but we read the testimony. We tried to get as much reporting about it as possible. It's sometimes hard for us to look out and say, criticize the prosecution, criticize the defense. Here's one of those cases where I think there's legitimate.
There's a legitimate, hold on. Stop it right there. Here's one of those cases where I think it's a legitimate. Let me rewind that again. Because once again, see how these dudes come in here and they feeling bad that they hear their ticket was right when I said that boy got serious grounds for an appeal. You cannot come against somebody who know what they talking about, big dog. This is what I do for real, for real. Let me rewind that again and hurt your feelings, dog.
The biggest case for the defense. Number one, whenever you have a situation of self-defense and the defendant uses a deadly weapon and the victim does not have a weapon, that in and of itself presents a challenge. But I think when you talk about what the issues are for appeal, I mean, there's a number that come to my mind. Number one,
based on the fact
concerns. It's very difficult
based on the fact that they just didn't like the counsel that they got.
It's a great question. First of all, Chris, thanks for having me. I've made it. I'm on the case. Look at this.
I know. Great.
My debut. Look, everybody has a right to an appeal, and every criminal defendant should file an appeal, unless, of course, they pled guilty, right? Now, I think they have some fair concerns. It's very difficult for us, even though we've covered the trial and there were no cameras there, but we read the testimony. We tried to get as much reporting about it as possible. It's sometimes hard for us to look out and say, criticize the prosecution, criticize the defense. Here's one of those cases where I think there's legitimate questions. I think there's legitimate questions. Now, on one hand, I'm skeptical because I could say, even if he were to get a new trial, and we'll talk about the appellate arguments, even if he were to get a new trial, would he even be successful in getting a not guilty verdict? I can't sit here and tell you that because I think this was a really, really tough case for the defense. Number one, whenever you have a situation of self-defense and the defendant uses a deadly weapon and the victim does not have a weapon, that in and of itself presents a challenge.
Hold on. Now, I disagree with him on that. And the reason why I disagree with him on that, and let me say this to y'all, because Trayvon Martin didn't have a weapon. Trayvon Martin did not have a weapon. George Zimmerman murdered Trayvon Martin in cold blood and was found not guilty. Trayvon Martin did not have a weapon, and George Zimmerman was found not guilty. George Zimmerman had a gun. George Zimmerman was the aggressor. These are facts. I didn't see all these people that are outraged now so outraged at how they did Trayvon Martin. Think about what I just said to y'all. They weren't outraged when they shot an unarmed black man. So I disagree with Jesse Weber. And if I was on Law and Crime, I'd tell Jesse Weber to his face. I would tell Jesse Weber, bullshit, right to his face. I said, they murdered Trayvon Martin in cold blood. That boy was minding his own business, and this dude want to play RoboCop and act like he patrolling the neighborhood. Did I see any outrage from all the people who's upset right now from the white community? That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking is a little bit of fairness. RESPECT. That's all I'm asking. See, y'all think I'm joking. You put me in the arena with any of these cats, I'm going to cook for real. Big time cook. Because I got a whole list of names. A whole list of names. Right? Think about what I said. And I'm just starting with Trayvon Martin because the case is similar. Minding his business, somebody approaches him, tries to act like they are certain authority because everybody blames this on Karmelo Anthony. But the truth is, if we tell the truth, if they didn't want Karmelo to be in the tent, why not go tell the coach? The coach is the one that's supposed to tell the player, hey, y'all, you can't come in this tent. You don't never send players to go kick another player out. That's a fight waiting to happen. All this stuff should have been said in court. If I'm sitting over there on the staff, I'm telling the lead attorney, I'm saying, hey, dog, look, we got to hammer home. Why didn't they go get a coach? Why were kids sent to go police kids? That's the first thing that was wrong right there. It's so many things I could have pointed out in this case. I'd have made this case so much easier to look at. Easy work. The way I would have made it look at. But like I said, George Zimmerman went over there effing with Trayvon Martin for no reason. He went right over there messing with Trayvon Martin for no reason. And all the white folks, I didn't see them shed one tear about that shit. What happened to Trayvon Martin? I didn't see not one tear shed. I didn't see no marches. I didn't see Jake Lang running around here. I didn't see none of them people. Right? So he had no reason to approach that dude. He wasn't a cop. He wasn't neighborhood security. He approached a dude that wasn't bothering him because he felt like he was the authority, and he got off in cold blood. But y'all ain't got nothing to say about that, right? Proud Boy Troy, I got one question for you, dog. I see you in the comment section. I got one question for you, brother. Proud Boy Troy, I'm not even really, that don't really bother me. I just want to ask you a question, bro. Hey, Proud Boy Troy 8, are you a racist? Do you identify as a racist? I just want to ask you that question. Proud Boy Troy, do you identify as a racist? That's all I want to ask you, bro. I'm not a racist, man. I don't feel good that Austin Metcalf is not alive. I'm asking you, are you a racist? Proud Boy Troy, it's taking you a long time to answer that question, dog. All you gotta do is type yes or no. Are you a racist? That's all we want to know. Everybody in the comment section want to know, man. Are you a racist, dog? If you're a racist, just stand on it, bro. Just stand on it and say, yeah, I'm a stone cold racist. Just stand on it. Right? You still, hold on. You said, no, I don't identify as a racist, but I acknowledge patterns. You genuinely seem like a good guy, though. What do you mean patterns? Let's talk about that. Proud Boy Troy, what do you mean patterns? When you say that, what you mean, dog? Because, see, I'm not disrespecting you. I'm not calling you out your name, nothing like that. I can have a conversation. When you say patterns, what you mean? Because, see, I just showed you something. And everybody in this comment section is witnesses to what I said to you, brother. My brother, George Zimmerman murdered Trayvon Martin in cold blood. He went over there and bothered a young boy that wasn't doing nothing to him. Right? He didn't do anything to him, dog. Right? Shout out to my boy Hot Rod in the building, man. Salute to you, dog. You already know what it is, homie. Right? But Proud Boy Troy, let me ask you a question. You said some of what I said is false. None of what I said is false, Proud Boy Troy. Everything I said on here is factual information. Everything I said is factual information. The first fact that I said, Proud Boy Troy, the very first fact that I said is that Austin Metcalf and his brother Hunter Metcalf had no reason policing the tent. If you wanted somebody to lead, the first thing you do as a kid is go get a coach, go get authority. That's facts. That's facts. The instance you have kids trying to police other kids is when you're going to have a fight. That's what you have teachers for. That's what you have coaches for. That's what you have leadership for. Because let me reverse the tables, Proud Boy Troy. If it was a white boy sitting there and two big black boys went up told him to get out and pushed him, shoved him, and whatever, had a scuffle, you wouldn't feel the same way. You wouldn't feel this. You would say, why y'all didn't go get the teacher or somebody? So that's all I'm saying to you, dog. When you look at it in reverse, why didn't Hunter and Austin Metcalf go get a teacher? It's just that simple, bro. Right? You said the white boy would have left. Huh? So you are you trying to say the white boy is more intelligent? What you mean, dog? Because I have a lot of examples where white boys stood their ground, dog. I have a lot of examples. I can show them to you. So for you to say the white boy would have left, I disagree with that, dog. I disagree. You're assuming now. I disagree with that, bro. I truly disagree with that, man. No. You talking for yourself, right? But see, let me say something to you, Proud Boy Troy. If somebody invited you there and it was pouring down raining, hold on. And this is the last question I'm gonna ask you. I'm not gonna waste the whole video. I'm gonna ask you this question, Proud Boy Troy. This is the last question I'm gonna ask you. Proud Boy Troy, I want everybody to listen to this in the channel. Everybody, I want y'all to listen to what I'm about to ask this dude. Proud Boy Troy, would you let a young black boy come sit under your tent if it was pouring down raining and he didn't have a tent? Yes or no? Proud Boy Troy, let me ask you this again. Would you let a young black boy come sit under your tent if it was pouring down raining and he didn't have a tent? I'm asking you a question, Proud Boy Troy. Yes or no? That's all I want to know. Yes or no? I'm going to say it to you again. You say you're not a racist. So I'm going to ask you again. Proud Boy Troy, we waiting on your answer on this. Ain't nobody block you, dog. Okay, Proud Boy Troy, you said sure. You ether, dog. Y'all see how easy I ether this dude? Y'all see how easy I ether this guy? He's done. Proud Boy Troy, with all due respect, I just ethered you, dog. Proud Boy Troy, are you white or black? You're white, right? You says you're white in your avatar, right? You're white, right, Proud Boy Troy? You're a white guy, right? So you're a white guy or you black? I'm about to show y'all. I ethered this dude so bad. Now, Proud Boy Troy said, oh, so you're Native American. Oh, so you're not white. So now you don't identify as white. You're Native American. Okay. So let me say this to you, Proud Boy Troy. You said that you would let a young black boy come sit under your tent if it was raining and he didn't have a tent. Let me ask you a question. Why didn't Austin Metcalf and Hunter Metcalf let a young black boy sit under their tent when it was pouring down raining and his team didn't have a tent? You in here arguing for somebody when you yourself said that you would do the opposite. Let me repeat myself again. You are in here arguing for somebody, and you're arguing a point, sir, when you said you yourself would do the opposite of what Hunter and Austin Metcalf did. Ether. This is how you get ethered when you come over here. This is how you get exposed when you come over here. So y'all hear these dudes? So you would say that you would invite, you wouldn't have no problem with a young black boy sitting under your tent if he didn't have no tent in his school. But you sitting in here making excuses for Austin Metcalf. No. I don't want to hear about personal perspective. I don't want to hear about rules and separate teams because somebody invited him over there, sir. And not only that, not only rules, sir, who made that rule? The teacher never said he couldn't sit under the tent. The coach never said he can't sit under the tent. Austin Metcalf and Hunter Metcalf said he couldn't sit under the tent. They not the coach. Who's the authority? The players or the coach? See how easy it is for me to have a conversation with you? I don't even have to insult you. I can eat you the easy way, sir. This is easy work. They don't have no authority over what happens out there. Who has the authority is the coaches and the teachers and the leaders. You said I never played sports? Sir, I played professional basketball for 16 years. I ran track. I ran cross country. I played football and basketball. What are you talking about? You know how many track meets and cross country meets we had? Right? I'm not wrong. You know how many track meets and cross country meets we had, man? I'd never had any issue. If somebody else came under our tent, it's pouring down raining, I don't have no problem with them if he ain't take nobody's shit or he ain't take nobody's seat. I'm not finna sit up here and argue with you on that. Now, if you rivals and you came over there talking trash and starting shit, now that's something different. But Karmelo Anthony was sitting over there by himself with the boy. See how easy it is, bro, to cook you? And I ain't even have to be racist. I didn't even have to use no curse words. I just cooked you easy work. Because you're in here arguing for something that somebody else did that you wouldn't even do. Make it make sense. You dismissed from the class. I'm not even going to block you. Yeah, I cooked you thoroughly, sir. Thoroughly, man. Thoroughly, sir. You thoroughly got cooked. Because you said that you're not racist. And you said you wouldn't kick a black boy out the tent if it was raining. Well, guess what? The last time I checked, Karmelo Anthony's black. Karmelo Anthony was sitting under the tent, and it was pouring down raining. They were under hurricane watch. Dog, you can't beat me, dog. Now, you said something else, and I'm finna cook you on this. You said I didn't have no point. Well, I'm going to not me. I'm going to let the white man tell you. Let me say this to you right now. Hold on. You said if I knew he had a knife, sir, guess what? 200,000 high school students take a knife or a gun to school every single month because they've been bullied. Right? And you know what? I'm gonna say this to you, right? I'm gonna say this to you, right? And I'm gonna be very honest with you. If you have kids, you better check yours too. Because why you sitting here? Yes, to attract me, yes. And I'm gonna tell you why, sir. No, it's not absurd. It's not absurd, sir. You know why? Because a lot of things can go down. When these kids leave, it's people getting robbed, it's people getting killed. You know the world we live in, man? Your kids ain't even safe at school no more. Your kids ain't even safe at school no more. They don't have no real protection. That's why when you see these school shootings, it's always somebody getting there late. It's never somebody taking care of the issue before it pops off, sir. So to the people who say his argument, this conversation is worth it. Right? Now you said you're homeschooling. Okay, that's cool, brother. No problem. Homeschool, bro. I don't have no issue with that. All I'm saying is if you're not racist and you don't have any hate in your heart, and Karmelo Anthony, a black boy, is sitting under your tent and it's pouring down raining, why kick him out? He ain't got no tent. Why kick him out? Unless you're doing what? Being a bully. The tent wasn't packed. He didn't bully his way in. They didn't say he went under there and stole something. Why kick him out? I hope you raise your kids, if you have them, with decency, honor, and respect. You said maybe they were having a meeting. How were they having a team meeting and Austin Metcalf and Hunter Metcalf walked from the other side all the way over there straight to him to tell him to get out? Make it make sense. It was no team meeting. You're making excuses now. This is what you start doing. You make excuses now, brother. You're making excuses, man. You're making excuses. I'm not even going to block you, bro. You're making excuses, man. I want you to sit over here and get this stir fry cooking. That's what I want you to do. Now, let me say this to you. You're mad at me? I'm finna let the white man tell you exactly what I said, but I'm going to let the white man tell you. I'm going to let Jesse Weber tell you. Because, see, you don't respect it when a black man tell you. I'm going to let the white man tell you.
Thanks for doing this. I know we both...
Of course, it's the concerns. It's very difficult for us, even though we've covered the trial and we've, there were no cameras there, but we read the testimony. We tried to get as much reporting about it as possible. It's sometimes hard for us to look out and say, criticize the prosecution, criticize the defense. Here's one of those cases where I think there's legitimate questions. Now, on one hand, I'm skeptical because I could say, even if he were to get a new trial, and we'll talk about the appellate arguments, even if he were to get a new trial, would he even be successful in getting a not guilty verdict? I can't sit here and tell you that because I think this was a really, really tough case for the defense. Number one, whenever you have a situation of self-defense and the defendant uses a deadly weapon and the victim does not have a weapon, that in and of itself presents a challenge.
Once again, I would have said George Zimmerman.
But I think when you talk about what the issues are for appeal, there's a number that come to my mind. Number one, was it in the right county? Should there have been a change of venue?
Didn't I tell you all
Number two, of course, it's the big issue about jury selection.
Didn't I tell you all that?
You're talking about a jury that had no black jurors.
I told you all
that. In and of itself doesn't mean that an appellate court is going to overturn the convictions here. You have to show a couple things. One thing you'd have to show is that the prosecution improperly, illegally dismissed jurors or tried to excuse jurors on the basis of race. We call that a Batson challenge. The court believes that could be grounds to overturn the conviction. But you have to show that. It's not so simple. It does become a question. Also, were the jurors themselves biased in some way? Would they be open to speaking to defense counsel about what the deliberations were like or what their motivations were? Do they do research into these jurors and look at maybe did they not disclose something during the jury selection process that they should have? So I think the jury selection issue...
Hold on, y'all. I'm glad he said that. And remember I told y'all today? I told y'all this early this morning before they even put this video out. I told y'all this. Early this morning before they even put this video out, I told everybody listening to this. I can't wait till that jury come out. Till they put them names of them jurors out. I'm going to tell y'all something. We doing top-notch investigations into those jurors. I want to know everything about those jurors' backgrounds. And I'm going to tell you something. If I find a god-dag on wiffle ball bat, I promise y'all, everybody that's listening to this video and the sound of my voice, they better hope every one of them jurors are squeaky clean. When they put those jury boys' names out, I'm finna tell y'all. Man, it's not gonna be pretty. Because if any of those jurors have any dirt on their name, and Proud Boy, I want to ask you a question. Since you went here, right? Y'all smash the like button. I'm a stir fry Proud Boy tonight, man. I don't have no problem with Proud Boy. I know how to deal with guys like Proud Boy because he don't pose no threat to me, right? So you say he's not getting out. Proud Boy, let me ask you a question. Proud Boy, I want to ask you a question. Do you have a problem with men violating women? Do you have a problem with men sexually assaulting women? Do you have a problem with men sexually harassing women? I ask you those questions and I would like to know. Do you have a problem with that, Proud Boy, or do you not have a problem with that? I have a question for you. Do you have a problem with sexual assault against women? Proud Boy, I'm waiting on your answer. Do you have a problem with sexual harassment against women in the workplace or anywhere? Proud Boy, do you have a problem? Do you have a problem with abuse of power? I'm waiting on your answer. You said yes, you have. I asked you about that. I asked you one question. So you said you do have a problem, right? So Proud Boy, do you have a problem with this guy right here? Do you have a problem with that guy on your screen? I do you one better, Proud Boy. Proud Boy, do you have a problem with that guy on your screen? I want to know. That is the district attorney and the assistant district attorney, the two prosecutors in this case. Now, you said you have a problem with people that have been accused of sexual assault, sexual harassment. Now, Proud Boy, do you think it's fair? Do you think it's fair that dudes with multiple women accusing them of sex, not even women, white women, white woman, white woman accusing them of sexual assault and sexual battery? And what did the white supremacist Jake Lang say when they arrested that ass? This is his favorite words. It's a two-tier system. Hey, Proud Boy, it's a two-tier system, man. Hey, look. So that's my question to you. Do you have a problem? Because the district attorney, Proud Boy, no, Proud Boy, Proud Boy, you're not finna do that. You're not finna do that, dog. You're not finna do that, Proud Boy. Proud Boy. They paid them white woman $1.75 million, dog. Proud Boy. They paid them white woman $1.75 million, dog. Proud Boy. They paid them white women $1.75 million, dog. Proud Boy. I'm trying to tell you, man. Stop it, man. They had 75 pages, Proud Boy. Letters that they wrote to the human resources complaining about these guys. Talking about how them dudes is running around there talking about women giving blowjobs. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. Put the kids to bed. We're going to tell the truth tonight on this channel like we do every night. They running around. See, Proud Boy, I suppose you got a problem with niggas like Diddy, right? I do too. But do you have a problem? Get a load of this, Proud Boy. They said these dudes was running around the office calling the white ladies whores, sluts, bitches, MFers, talk about giving blowjobs. Come on now, what's up, dog? Now, these are the people who they have these type of allegations on their helmet. 75 pages, dog. 75 pages. It has everything to do with this trial. And I'm going to tell you why, Proud Boy. You said it has nothing to do with this trial, though. Proud Boy, I thought you were smarter than that, man. Come on, bro. It has everything to do with this trial. And I'm going to tell you why, Proud Boy. The reason why it has everything to do with this trial, Proud Boy, how can I be judged by people who have demonic, diabolical allegations against them? It does, Proud Boy. It does. Proud Boy, I'm going to tell you why. Proud Boy, would you want a judge presiding over your case that has been sanctioned before? Do you want a judge presiding over your case that have been accused of using his power? Right? Using his power in the wrong way? I'm asking you. So, Proud Boy, if you was on trial, would you want a judge who's already been sanctioned and who's already been accused, and not only accused, found guilty on 2 charges. Would you then want a prosecutor and his assistant who have been accused and paid a $1.75 million settlement because women on the job say that they was over there putting their hands up these women's skirts, pressing these women's breasts up against them, telling these women how they turned them on and made them feel a certain way? Telling these women to come in the office and close the door and we gonna have secret and private meetings? It has everything to do with the case, sir, because we're not arguing whether or not Karmelo Anthony took the life of Austin Metcalf. That's not the argument from nobody in the black community. See, the point you're missing is, and I know you get it, you just want to be, I know what you're trying to do, Proud Boy. Proud Boy. Proud Boy, let me ask you this question, and I'm going to leave you alone. I ain't going to say nothing to you for the rest of this night. I'm going to ask you a question, Proud Boy. Proud Boy, this is the last question I'm going to ask you. Proud Boy, should George Zimmerman be in prison right now for murder? Proud Boy, should George Zimmerman be in prison right now for first-degree murder? Yes or no? Proud Boy, should George Zimmerman be in prison right now for first-degree murder? That's the last question I'm going to ask you. I don't even have no other question for you. Proud Boy, I'm going to say it to you again. Dog. Should George Zimmerman be, and shout out to whoever just sent me that $250 donation to Cash App. Jennifer, salute to you. Appreciate it. Jennifer Brown, I appreciate it, baby. $250 donation in the Cash App tonight. Proud Boy, I'm asking you a question. I'm waiting on your answer. You said George, you a stone cold racist. You said no, Zimmerman was being attacked. Now, Proud Boy, let me ask you a question. How can you say George Zimmerman was being attacked when he approached the black boy looking for problems? How can you say George Zimmerman was being attacked when he approached an unarmed black man? Hold on. You said if you kiss my ass. No, you're not listening. George Zimmerman thought he was a top flight security of the world. He approached an unarmed black man, unarmed. You told me Austin Metcalf was unarmed. Austin Metcalf approached Karmelo Anthony, who wasn't bothering him. George Zimmerman approached Trayvon Martin, who was not bothering him. These are facts. Proud Boy, you're a stone cold racist. Get your ass out of my channel. Goodbye. You're a stone cold racist. Let's go on with the show. Prove my point. Y'all see? They don't want to keep it real when the shoe's on the other foot. And I give them an opportunity. I don't treat everybody the same as if you're a racist, I let them do it to themselves. He gonna sit in here and talk about, George Zimmerman was being attacked. Fool, George Zimmerman approached and bothered a boy for no reason. That wasn't even bothering him because he thought he was the cops. That motherfucker didn't have no badge, no authority to do anything to Trayvon Martin. This is the same thing as Austin Metcalf. R.I.P. to Austin Metcalf. But him and Hunter Metcalf had no authority to ask Karmelo Anthony to leave. They had no authority. That wasn't their land. They didn't own it. They had no reason. And guess what? It is against the law. What Austin Metcalf and Hunter Metcalf did, if they put their hands on him, even pushed him, that is assault. That is against the law. To physically remove somebody from public property. It's not private property. It's not private property. It's not private property. Straight up. It's not private property, though. Straight up. Right? It's not. Right? So you saying that, I don't give a damn what you talking about, dog. But as I said to you, they were on public property, bro. And legally, one citizen cannot remove physically another citizen from public property. If you put your hands on them, that's assault. That's assault. Case closed. Case closed. And that's why I have a problem with you guys. Y'all don't have no problem with George Zimmerman killing a black man in cold blood. Y'all don't have no problem with that. Black man minding his own business. Y'all don't have no problem with that. That's a problem I got with y'all. But y'all want to sit up here and act like y'all got a problem with this. You guys don't keep the same energy. I didn't hear y'all hooting and hollering and screaming and crying when they killed George Floyd the way they did and put his knee on that man's head. I didn't see y'all doing that. I didn't see none of these people that's coming out here now hooting and hollering. I didn't see any of them standing up for that black man that got his knee put on his head and killed in front of the world. I didn't see it. Didn't see it at all. And it just shows you how devilish and demonic these people really are. Now let's keep going.
Of course, it's a great question. We tried to get as much reporting about it as possible. It's sometimes hard for us to look out and say, criticize the prosecution, criticize the defense. Here's one of those cases where I think there's legitimate questions. Now, on one hand, I'm skeptical because I could say, even if he were to get a new trial, and we'll talk about the appellate arguments, even if he were to get a new trial, would he even be successful in getting a not guilty verdict? I can't sit here and tell you that because I think this was a really, really tough case for the defense. You know, number one, whenever you have a situation of self-defense and the defendant uses a deadly weapon and the victim does not have a weapon, that in and of itself presents a challenge. But I think when you talk about what the issues are for appeal, I mean, there's a number that come to my mind. Number one, was it in the right county? Should there have been a change of venue? Number two, of course, it's the big issue about jury selection, right? You're talking about a jury that had no black jurors. Now, that in and of itself doesn't mean that an appellate court is going to overturn the convictions here. You have to show a couple things. One thing you'd have to show is that the prosecution improperly, illegally dismissed jurors or tried to excuse jurors on the basis of race. We call that a Batson challenge. If the court believes that could be grounds to overturn the conviction. But you have to show that. It's not so simple. It does become a question. Also, were the jurors themselves biased in some way? Would they be open to speaking to defense counsel about what the deliberations were like or what their motivations were? Do they do research into these jurors and look at maybe did they not disclose something during the jury selection process that they should have? So I think the jury selection issue is also going to be something for an appeal. And then there are moments during the trial that the defense will say it was unfair. One of the things that I'm sure they're going to bring up is during the jury instructions, they lost. They wanted to instruct they didn't want an instruction to the jury. If you believe that Karmelo Anthony was the aggressor, you cannot find that he acted in self-defense. They believe that shouldn't have been what the jury was instructed, and they were. So there's going to be opportunities there. But during the course of the trial, there were a number of things the defense did or did not do that raised a question. I mean, Chris, do you have an understanding about why he brought a knife that day? I know they were really keen about saying the knife was a certain length and maybe, he had a right to have it. I told you that. Still not clear why he brought it. Right. I think some of their witnesses, at least one in particular, the defense called, wasn't the most helpful to their case. So, and you also have a family this is a tragedy on a number of different levels, but you have a family who now lost the son. One, obviously the Metcalfs lost their son, but also and their brother, but also you have Karmelo Anthony who's going to spend potentially 35 years in prison over what happened here. And they're angry. And it's not uncommon to point the blame at the defense attorney.
No, and I think, there are a couple questions. Like on day one, like Cody Thomas from Court TV was our guy in the courtroom. And like I remember on day one, I was like, one of the big questions for this trial is why did he have a knife? And I was shocked that
nobody's asked that.
By the end of 4 days of testimony, and I think it was a total of 27
Didn't I tell y'all this? Now, I told everybody listen to this video, they should have explained why he had a knife. I told y'all on this channel, you have to talk about whether or not that boy was being bullied. But that shows you they didn't do no homework. They didn't do no investigations. That's why he's going to get a retrial. All the investigations was disgusting in this case. All of them. Why not give him a retrial? You have to. Because they didn't even explain. They didn't even let him explain why he had the knife. Everybody making lies up on YouTube. Oh, he had the knife to use to clean his cleats. Man, he didn't say that. Didn't nobody in the case say that? Let's hear why. Let's hear why. Period. Let's hear from him why. Remember I told y'all what I thought? I said it could have been bullying. That's what I told y'all. You know why? And I told y'all I would have brought this up in court. Over 200,000 high school students take a weapon that's a knife or a gun to school every single month. Did you guys know that over here in the jury? Did y'all know that? I would have made all these, and I would have brought the paperwork. I would have handed the papers and the statistics out to all the jurors. I would have went in the courtroom and showed photos of all the different bullying situations that's going on in these schools and the reasons why a lot of these kids are carrying certain types of weapons in their bags. Period. I would have brought all that to the table. And excuse my language to everybody in here. When you get in a murder trial and you fighting for it, you got to let your nuts hang. Period. You got to let it all hang in that trial, bro. You can't leave nothing. You got to scrape the plate. You can't leave nothing on the table. If you leave anything on the table, you going to get cooked. And that's exactly what happened to him. They didn't even explain in the court case why he bought the knife. That was the most egregious thing ever. Because everybody kept saying he had a knife. Why did he have a knife? They didn't even the lawyer didn't even get to answer. He didn't even get to answering that. That's would have been the first thing that you address. Why he had the knife. That is diabolical work. First thing you do, oh, well, he had the knife because he is being bullied. He walks home. He keeps it on him for protection. It's not illegal. It's against school policy. I would have brought all those things up. And then I would have brought specialists. And let me say this again. To the person who says it's okay to take a knife to attract me, it's a lot of students taking knives out here in their bags. Let me repeat myself again. And I will show you the statistics. And see, here's the thing. To that person who said it in the comment section. See, I'm going to say this to you. I'm going to say this to you, right? You pushing my buttons. But your name is Kenneth Lewis. I'm not even going to get mad at you, dog. I'm just going to cook you real quick. I'm going to cook you real quick. Because y'all easy to cook. All that stuff y'all be saying be so easy to debunk, bro. It'd be so easy to debunk, bro. So I'm going to ask you off GP, my brother. Off GP, I'm going to ask you something, brother. Off GP, I'm going to ask you, brother. Off GP, I'm going to ask you, right? Off GP, my brother. Do you think it's okay? And I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again. Do you think it's okay? Right? For you to say that, and I'm going to show you this. Look at your screen, dog. Look at your screen, dog. This happens all the time at schools. You ask yourself, well, why do they bring knives on them? Because of this type of shit. And guess what? You doing all that talking in the comment section when your son could be one of the ones on the sideline egging this shit on. Your son could be one of the guys that's helping bully somebody right now, and you don't even know it. You'll never know until you get that phone call when something really pop off. Don't you know that students are getting bullied every day? That's how I let y'all know that these parents don't even know what's going on in these schools with these kids. A lot of these parents don't even know what's going on in school with their kids. You know why? They don't go to the schools and check on their kids. They don't pull up and pop up and check on these kids and see what the hell they doing. You don't know what your kids are doing at school. You don't know how many times a lot of these kids are getting bullied, ran down on, stolen from. And they don't tell mama and daddy. Why? Because they'll be called a snitch and get their ass beat even worse at school. So they just keep it inside. And what they do is they start having something for protection on them. So when this type of shit right here happens on your screen, they have some type of protection with them. And look at this shit, y'all. This type of stuff that's going on in school right there. Now, you talking all that trash in the comment section. That could be your son right there holding the camera, videoing and watching this bullying tactics. And they all complicit. But you sitting up here on YouTube, why is he doing this? Where is it? And your kid at school right now are part of the problem. Right now. Your kid is at school a part of the problem. Not a part of the solution. A part of the problem. And I show y'all this in real life. And everybody keeps saying it wasn't like, you don't know what it was. Everybody just need to be quiet talking about it was this, it was that. When the photos come out, y'all see what it really was. Everybody just need to be quiet talking about it wasn't this, it was that. Don't nobody know what the hell it was. They didn't tell y'all what it was. All they said was 3.5 inches. So when you see it, which they'll show it at some point in time, wait to see it before you speak. Don't assume or go off hearsay. No, I don't want to hear no hearsay. I want to see it myself. I'm not going to come in here and say, yeah, man, it was utility or they used it to clean his cleats. Ain't nobody say that. They didn't even say it in court. Nobody even saw it. Nobody even saw it. So until you see the picture of it, I don't take none of that word. I don't take none of that word. But to the dude that was in there running his mouth, do you know what your kids is doing at school? Make sure your kids ain't one of these kids that's bullying somebody else. Look at this, y'all. Look how they doing kids, y'all. And look at this dude behind. Look how they doing these kids, y'all. Look, y'all. Look. This is what the kids is doing at school. And man gonna come in here and tell me, well, why did he have to take a knife? Bro, do you not see how this kid is surrounded? You know how many times this happens, bro? At school? All the time? Now, if your kid can't fight, and you talking about a kid that have epilepsy, so he have a lot of seizures. He needed seizure medication. So if somebody hit him in his head multiple times, he could have a seizure and die. But y'all don't want to talk about that. See, you see a lot of this stuff going on in the schools, and don't nobody want to call this stuff out. And these people come in here running their mouth, and a lot of their kids be at school right now participating in the bull jab. And they come on YouTube acting all high and mighty. Dude, it makes no excuse for him having, bro, y'all don't even know. See, that's how I know these people ain't even in touch with what's going on in school. Try going to school one day and being a guidance counselor. Try going to school one day and working in violence prevention. Don't you know they have these people in the school now? Because it's that bad that you have all of these people working in the school, violence prevention specialists and all these other people, because of how bad it is, because of gangs. See, they don't tell y'all this. They don't tell y'all that there be gangs at these schools, gangs at these sporting events. They don't tell y'all that. So then they say, well, why did you take a knife? And you won't even ask them. You ain't even open your mind to figure out what's going on. Why you need that? Meanwhile, your kid is up there acting a fool, egging this stuff on, aiding and abetting in the foolishness. Look at this. Look at this guy right here, pulling his shirt up. Look at this, y'all. Look at this. Look. Every day this is going on. Look at this, y'all. And everybody's sitting around watching. Look at this, y'all. Y'all see this? Do y'all see this? Do y'all see this? Look. And they act like, oh, man, you black guys are great. No, these are white guys, too. These are white guys, too. So it's all across the board. It's all across the board. Right? Now, look at this dude with the backpack on. He don't even want to fight. He looking like, man, come on, bro. He got his backpack on. He like, bro, what is you doing, man? The other dude walked right up to his face. Then you got this other dude in the t-shirt, white dude, pulling up. You got all these people. So this has been set up. Everybody done came up here and huddling around these people. Right? Listen to what I'm saying to y'all. This is the type of stuff that's going on every day in the school system, bro. And these people not talking about this stuff. Now look at this guy. Look at this big chunky guy right here. What is he doing? Look at him. He looked like he up to something. Look, y'all. Look. Look at this, y'all. Look at this. So now everybody egging it on. They egging it on, egging it on, egging it on. Look at this. This happen every day. They egging it on. Look, y'all. Look how he ball up his hands, y'all. Look how he ball up his hands. Now, y'all see this? Look at the dude in the background balling up his hands. And you talking about why your kids is doing this? Look at this. So everybody gripping up now. This is the type of stuff you see going on at school. If you work at these schools, you work with these youth, you see it all the time. You see it all the time. And I'm trying to tell y'all that. And he said, no knife in his hand. Bro, you don't know what these kids got. I'm going to say it again to you. 200,000 kids in high school alone per month take a knife or a gun to school because they've been bullied. That number is astronomical. Let me repeat myself again. 200,000. 200,000. Are y'all not listening to me? 200,000 a month in high school. Read the statistics. Are taking a knife or a gun to school in the United States of America. Every month, 200,000. Now they say, hey, why Karmelo got a knife? They don't even know. It's probably about 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 other people that track me that got knives. And to the dude who said them schools got metal detectors, a lot of them don't. And they're not catching them. I just told you. They just did the study. 200,000 high school students are taking knives and guns to school every single month. You're not listening to that. I'm going to say it again. And some of these kids that can't fight, man, they're not trying to get jumped and beat up no more. Some of these kids are tired of getting jumped and beat up, bro. Some of these kids are tired of getting bullied on and all this other stuff. They're tired of it, bro. So when they get tired of it, they're like, yo, I'm not dealing with that no more, bro. I'm not dealing with that no more. And you tell these people this, and it go in one ear, y'all, and go right out another ear. The people don't lost their damn mind. We live in a whole cold-blooded world, right? 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 I'm gonna break it down for the day for y'all. Right? Right? I'm gonna take it down and I'm gonna show y'all this. I'm gonna show y'all this, right? Now, since he's saying knife, I'm gonna show y'all this right now, right? I ain't gonna show you knife. I'm gonna show you gun. Firearm access. According to the annual CDC, data reveals that roughly 3.5% of high schoolers, equating to an estimated 605,000 students, have carried a gun to school at least once over the course of a year. They don't even know these statistics. These people are parents and don't even know what the hell going on with their kids. Let me repeat myself again. Are y'all hearing these statistics I'm showing y'all? The annual CDC data reveals that roughly 3.5% of high schoolers, we ain't even talking about middle school, high schoolers, right? That's equating to an estimated 605,000 students have carried a gun to school at least once over the course of a year. And guess what? Nobody's asking them, how did y'all get those guns? You know where they got them from? Stolen from their parents. How did you get that knife? Got it from somebody else who took it from their parents. Why did you need it? Protection. I was being jumped. I was being bullied. Read the next line. And this is why I have this channel. I educate y'all. They don't want to hear education. They stupid. And it's sad. Look at this, y'all. Look at what I'm showing y'all on the screen. The why behind the behavior. Researchers note that the vast majority of students who sneak weapons onto campus do not do so with the intent to launch a mass attack. Instead, surveys show they bring them out of fear, y'all, feeling a perceived need for self-defense on the commutes to and from school. Didn't I tell y'all this? Or because they are experiencing severe bullying. Nobody asked this question about Karmelo Anthony. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that. That nobody said, son, why did you need that knife? Nobody wanted to know if he was being bullied. Nobody wanted to know if gangs was running down on him. I seen videos of 11-year-olds in shootouts on the news. It broke my spirit to see that they're involved in that type of stuff. And when you have average kids who they got to deal with this foolishness and they got to live in this. They got to live in this, right? So when you ask, and then since he said knife, y'all, he said knife, right? Now y'all heard this, right? He said knife, right? How many students take a knife to school each month? Knife. 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 Let's talk about knife, y'all. Let's talk about knife, right? We're going to talk about knife. Here it goes right here. So we're going to ask the question right here. How many, and I'm going to get the actual stats on the study. Knife. Check this out, y'all. Y'all know I got the stats. Read this right here, y'all. Read this right here, y'all. Right? The monthly scale. Now, they ask y'all, and I show y'all this. I show y'all this. And to the person who says weak kids, bro, you don't even know what you're talking about. You're saying weak kids, weak. You're calling kids weak, and you don't even know some of the things they're experiencing in school. How are you supposed to be weak and you're experiencing gangs with people who got guns? You're not thinking about this, sir. Don't you know that people have gangs at school and these people carrying guns? They're carrying guns. They're carrying other weapons. Kids deal with this every day. See, I know you don't work around kids, and this is what happens when you don't work around kids or you don't be around youth. This is what happens. You don't understand them. And he keeps saying weak kids. No, it ain't weak kids. When you deal with gangs, when you deal with kids that are part of gangs, that have guns, that are out here taking people's lives on a regular basis, and you got to see this, you got to deal with this bullying, you got to deal with threats on your life on a day-to-day basis. And guess what? You don't get to see it because you ain't out here touching the soil with the kids. You're not touching the soil with the kids. I'm showing you factual information. Read what I blacked out right there. The monthly scale, when applied to the roughly 15 million high school students enrolled in the United States, that percentage means an estimated 300,000 to 375,000 students bring a knife to school at least once each month. And they asking y'all why Karmelo Anthony got a knife. Oh, 375,000 students bring a knife to school at least once each month. Not year, month. But they sitting up here telling y'all, we don't know what we talking about. They telling y'all, we don't know what we talking. I'm going to say it again. And a lot of it had to do with bullying, dealing with gangs. This stuff is real, bro. They got gang task units working at these schools now. The parents don't even know this. In the public school system, they have gang prevention programs going on. So they're actually hiring males and other teachers to deal with this type of stuff. But the parents don't know this because they're not in the school, they're not entrenched and don't know what's going on in their kid's life. Right? Think about that. I'm giving y'all the facts. They're not talking about this in court. All these stats I'd have brought up, straight up. I'd have said, look, y'all get mad at Karmelo, I understand. Right? And I'm going to say this again, right? And I'm going to say this again, man. To the person who says he used it for his cleats, nobody said that. The parents didn't say that. The boy did not say that in the court. Stop making up shit on YouTube. T-Boy 288, stop making up shit his parents ain't even saying. The parents nor the boy is saying this, dog. Shut it up. It's not going to work over here. You guys come on YouTube and make up lies. Y'all have made up all these lies around this shit. I don't accept no lies on YouTube. None. I don't accept any lies. None. So you're not going to lie. You're not going to lie. Right? You're not going to lie. Right? I'm keeping it real with you. You're not going to lie. Right? Y'all see this? That's how y'all know they don't even know what's going on in the schools. They have no idea what's going on in the schools, y'all. None. If y'all went to some of these schools every day, you'll be like, what the hell? You will see. I swear to God, if some of y'all parents was working in the schools, your whole mind would change. Your whole mind would change. You would say, what in the world? To see how these kids is acting? See, I'm going to tell you something. These people come on YouTube, they just talking, y'all. They talking. My heart, my spirit, my soul is bothered. I'm going to show y'all something. Do y'all not see this on y'all screen? Do y'all not see this on y'all screen? This is what's going on in school every day. Now, I want to show y'all something. This boy got somebody recording him. He goes in between the class to another class just to beat up another boy in a whole nother class. Now, how in the hell did he go to a whole nother class, got somebody else behind him recording him just to get in a fight? And where's the teachers at? Look at this, y'all. I can't show y'all the fight. Look at what I'm talking about. This ain't nothing but the devil. And and they don't even know what's going on in schools. Half the kids sleep. Look at this. If my daddy would have came in here and looked at that window and seen that, boy, it would have been a whole new whooping. I'm gonna show y'all something. So he goes into class. Look at this, y'all. People in the class sleep. This is what's going on in your class right now. This is real life, y'all. Real life. Look. He go into class. Look, boy to the left, sleep. Boy to the right, doing nothing. Not looking at nothing. No paperwork. The teacher ain't doing a damn thing. Y'all, look at this. Everybody just sleep in the class. But you don't know this is what's really going on in real life, though, man. And you talking about where they bringing up? You don't even know what's going on in the schools. You ain't even touched the reality. Now look at this. He go in there. Everybody sleep. This was going on in real life. I'm showing y'all this. Look at him. He don't walk in a whole nother class. A whole nother class. Where the teacher at? Where's the teacher to say, man, what the hell is you doing? Look what he did. Look what he did. He walks in there. Look, y'all. Look. Ain't no teacher. Ain't no teacher. Make it make sense. All the students sleeping in class. And I'm sure y'all asking, they asking y'all, I got a cold mind to show this in the court. And y'all need to understand this as a jury. You guys are not in the school no more. You're not going to the class to see this. He goes into class. Now look, y'all. He goes into class. Look at this, y'all. Now look, y'all. He goes in and moves the tables out the way. Look at him. Look at him, y'all. Look at him, y'all. Old boy jumps up. Now look, y'all. This is what's going on in the school. Now, do you see anybody jump up to break that up? I'll ask y'all, and I'll show y'all this because it's facts, what I'm talking about. And I showed y'all that because I live in truth and honor and dignity and morals and respect. So I show y'all that. And I'm going to show y'all this. Look, so you got nobody breaking this stuff up, man. Nobody. And everybody just going to pull out their cell phones and watch. It's pull out their cell phones and watch this stuff, y'all. And I'm finna show y'all something. Demonic, y'all. Demonic. Look at this, y'all. This is what y'all kids doing in class. I can't even show you the video. And they gonna ask you why the kids bringing a knife to school. This is why I be trying to tell you. They don't even understand what's going on. Now, do y'all see this? This is diabolical work. I would have brought this shit to the courtroom. Man, listen, bro. I would have whipped this whole case in half. You telling me students got to come to school and deal with this type of stuff, and you asking why they bringing a knife to school. This boy done came from a whole nother class, walked in another class, did all of this, and ain't nobody broke it up in the class. The teachers ain't broke it up. The teachers ain't doing nothing. Y'all gonna ask that question? We really asking these questions? And he got a whole cameraman that followed him to do the whole thing. That's a whole nother level of bullying. That's a whole nother level of bullying. And y'all don't even see this stuff. Why? Because the parents ain't paying no attention. They too busy doing whatever they doing. I'm paying attention to this because I really be mentoring and working with these students. That's how I know what the hell I'm talking about. See, if you're not in it, you can just come on YouTube and say, dude, they really had a knife at school. Yes! If you had somebody come into class and jump up and down on you like a trampoline, what the hell you think your son gonna do? You literally, if I was a lawyer, I would literally bring all of these different videos and I would enter them into evidence and show you. So when the kid says, hey, man, there's bullying stuff going on, I would show them all these different examples because you have to visualize. You have to show people visualizations of this type of stuff that's going on so they understand the mentality of a lot of these kids now. You got kids coming from other classes going, and there ain't no teachers. There ain't no supervision. The same way that boy lost his life and died. Where's the teachers at? All the teachers is far away doing whatever they ain't even doing what they're supposed to do. The supervisors, the coaches. They all over there talking somewhere. Come on, man. Come on, bruh. For real, for real? And y'all sitting here asking these questions? Come on, man. Come on, man. And they doing this. And they doing that. And they getting this off. And a lot of them recording this stuff. Now, to everybody who asked me a question, they said, Ticket, I think it's other videos. It might be. But guess what? It might be other bad videos because everybody might not have known what was going on. But guess what? It might have been another video. I tell you one thing. The only way you'll truly find out if there was and this is why I don't believe it was another video. There would have been money on that video. Somebody would have put $1 million on that video. Any video that was out there would have popped up. You better believe people put money on them videos. That's why I don't believe it was that many other videos. Money talks and bullshit walks. I already heard people was putting up money trying to get those videos, if there was any, and they couldn't get none. Like literally, it wasn't even too many people that was under that tent that day that was sitting under there. And they come on here and they got the nerve to tell y'all. This is what they tell y'all though, y'all. This is what they tell y'all, right? This is what they tell y'all, man. And I'll be honest with y'all, bro. This is what they tell y'all, man. Right? It's sad, bro. It's truly sad, man. And you got dudes hitting girls, all kind of stuff, man. It's truly sad, man. Dudes hitting teachers. I don't seen it all, man. Dudes hitting teachers and stuff, bro. I don't seen it all, man. I don't seen it all. Them fighting in the hallway. I don't seen it all. It truly bothers me. Y'all don't understand this type of stuff, man. I showed y'all this the other day, man. I would have had a serious problem, man. I'd have had a serious problem, you guys. Now look at this. Y'all want to talk. Oh, Ticket. Well, why they got to carry a knife? When you getting your ass jumped like that, what you think you're going to do? When you getting jumped like that, what you think you're going to do when you getting jumped like that? 5-on-1. Come on, bro. And that boy got epilepsy. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Right? Stop it. Stop it. That boy got epilepsy. And this is what y'all seeing going on in these schools. And they coming in here and they telling y'all, oh, why would they need to take a knife? And those situations were situations that were staged. Meaning, we knew this was going to happen. Everybody was in the bathroom waiting, and they was going to trap him in there. That day, nobody probably really knew that was going to happen like that. So it's kind of hard to get your video set up when everybody's probably running, trying to get out the way of that situation, right? That day was probably more like it just popped off like that. Like it's a lot of situations they don't even get on video. Like the ones where because you know how kids do nowadays, they're going to tell you that, oh, we're going to beat this nigga out to school. So everybody got their camera ready. The only person who don't know they're going to get beat is that kid. That's the only person who don't know they're going to get beat. It's that kid. That's the only person. That's the only person. Hey, go outside and close that gate. Go outside and close that gate. Close that gate. All right. I'm going to call right now. So as I told y'all, right? And I'll say it again. Sad, man. Extremely sad, man. Right? Think about what I said. And to the person who said the wrestler Ward has an original photo, he wasn't swollen. That's a lie. Y'all stop putting out lies. He wasn't swollen, man. That's a lie. All those stories are lies. I don't push no lies on my channel. You don't need a lie. The truth is enough. He did not have bruises. The photo was not photoshopped. He did not have bruises. Ask his daddy in him. He didn't have bruises, man. You guys don't even know what you're talking about. He didn't have bruises, bro. You guys are just making up lies. Oh, they photoshopped. It's a lie. These are stone cold lies they're making up. He didn't have any of that. That's a lie. That's a straight, flat out lie. And they lying to y'all about this shit. That's a cold-blooded lie. Oh, ticket. But they had the photos, man. No, they didn't. That's a lie. He didn't get his face bruised up or any of that stuff. His parents know what the truth was. They didn't get that far. They was going to try to, but they didn't get that far. Excuse me, you said go pull up the arrest report. Bro, listen, you're not hearing me. That was photoshopped. You guys don't understand this, bro? A lot of this stuff was photoshopped, brother. Are you not listening to me, sir? A lot of that stuff you talking about was photoshopped. Right? Right? And y'all just lying. Right? Y'all lying. Right? He didn't even say that. He didn't even say that. Right? Let me put this to y'all again. Show you on the screen. The defense's argument themselves. See, I bring facts to y'all. That's it. While the Karmelo Anthony's legal defense team argued that he acted out of terror and self-defense after physical contact was made under the team tent, the trial primarily focused on the physical push or shove initiated by Metcalf, rather than establishing that Anthony had been severely beaten or visibly bruised. These are facts. He wasn't. He was pushed, shoved, they put their hands on him. They didn't beat his face up or bruise his face. That's a complete lie. And I don't stand for no lies on this channel. Either way, I don't care what side it's on. People put out flat out lies. Oh man, come on, they took it. They beat the face up, man, and they changed the photo. That's a fucking lie. His parents won't even tell you that. His parents won't even tell you that. If you ask his parents right now, hey, was your son face beaten, bruised? See, if I interviewed his parents, I would ask them all them questions to clear up all the lies and cap. I would clear it all up because their parents are already going to tell you. People on the internet lied about that shit, bro. On both sides, they lied. Right? So the person said, even if that's true, well, it's relevant because you put your, listen, once again, if you push this dude and he's up the bleachers, because he was up some bleachers, if you push him, he falls and hits his head any way, shape, or form in those bleachers, he's got epilepsy. He can have a seizure and die. The kid has epilepsy. That means he suffers from numerous seizures. He has to have seizure medication. Epilepsy is different from you just having occasional seizure. Epilepsy is people who have epilepsy. I'm gonna say this again. People who have epilepsy, they literally have a disability. Legally, they're disabled. Legally, that's not even. I'm telling you, legal terms. Matter of fact, let me show y'all this. See, that's why I told y'all Karmelo Anthony's lawyers should have dug into all this during the trial. They should have dug into all this during the trial, bro. Right? Right? They should have dug into all this during the trial. I told y'all this. Here it go right here. Is epilepsy a disability? Yes, epilepsy is legally recognized as a disability, right? Now listen to this, right? Because epilepsy affects the neurological system. Peep what I'm showing y'all this. It falls under different definitions depending on whether you're looking at civil rights protections or government financial aid. Right? Peep what I'm telling y'all this. Right? But the people who say, oh, ticket, but how did he play football with that? What you mean how he play football? They got a helmet, they got pads, it's a controlled sport. Without that helmet, without that pads and that medicine, which he had to have a special clearance to play, he hit his head, he in trouble. Now, they don't even tell y'all that epilepsy is a disability. I'm telling y'all, it's a disability, period. No question. No question about it. Right? I'm just being honest with y'all. Show it to you right here. Is epilepsy a disability under the United States law? All they have to do is show this shit in court, bro. And you get the doctor to come in. This is why you get a specialist. You'll have to pay a specialist. I'm giving y'all a game. You'll have to pay a specialist probably $1,000 to $2,000 to come in for a few hours and explain why this is important. It all goes into your defense. So you have specialists that go to trials that just go and explain stuff like this. They break it down to the jury so the jury can understand. When you don't have this, or when you don't have these people come, you got people who don't understand what they're looking at. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. So that's why y'all see all them high profile people who get those great lawyers. They got all the specialists coming in. And the specialists, their job is to describe this and explain this to the jury in layman's terms so they can understand it. So when you say ticket, is epilepsy a disability under U.S. law? Yes, it is. Yes, epilepsy qualifies as a disability under both the Americans with Disabilities Act and Social Security Administration. But the purpose is and process differ, right? The ADA protects individuals with epilepsy from discrimination and ensures access to reasonable accommodations in the workplace, schools, and public spaces. Right? Think about what I just said. So the person who says he murdered them, listen, man, I'm not contesting that. I'm thinking it's manslaughter because I don't think he purposely meant to kill that dude. I don't think Karmelo Anthony is a street rat or a gangster thug meant to go out and kill. I don't see where we differ is on the intent. Right? And RIP to Austin Metcalf. I don't like I said, I don't like the fact that he's not alive. It hurts me. And I want to ask you a question, man. I'm glad you said something. You said it's murder, right? Did Trayvon Martin, did he murder, did George Zimmerman murder Trayvon Martin? Real Talk 64. Your name is Real Talk. So I'm going to see if you have real talk. Did George Zimmerman murder Trayvon Martin? Now, your name is Real Talk. So I want to hear the real talk. Your name is Real Talk. Real talk. So did George Zimmerman murder Trayvon Martin? I'm waiting for you. Your name is Real Talk 64. Real Talk 64. And remember, he was sitting over there by himself. He didn't know they was going to come up to him and approach him like that. How can that be premeditated when he didn't know that they were going to walk up to him and do that? George Zimmerman walked up to this man who didn't have no weapon on him, approached him, looked for problems with him, and killed him. Look how she ain't got no answer, y'all. She's not even responded. Now she quiet. See, when you flip the table on them, they can't even answer that question. They can't even answer that question. I asked her, and she ain't said nothing ever since. Now, y'all see this? The racism is real, y'all. That's racism like a mofo. You'll call it on one side, but you won't call it on another side. So you can't call yourself real talk. It's fake talk. The talk you talking is fake talk. You can't call yourself real talk. You're fake talk. Because I asked you, did George Zimmerman murder Trayvon Martin? And you got quiet. So that's not no real talk coming from you. That's fake talk. That's fake talk. Straight up. Straight up. Y'all can't see, this is the thing. They can't even acknowledge that. They can't even acknowledge that. Right? They can't even acknowledge that. She ain't responded since. Look at her. She got quiet. You know why? She don't give a damn about no George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin. She don't care what happened to Trayvon Martin. Look what I showed y'all. I gave her all this time to respond. What happened? I showed y'all this. It's crickets. Whenever you bring up Trayvon Martin, it's crickets. And this man says Zimmerman killed Trayvon because he was defending himself. How you defending yourself when you started it with this person? Make it make sense. Let me say this to you, Vitamin Hug. If you're walking by and you're not bothering somebody, and they walk up to you, approach you, start harassing you, they're not police, they're not security, they're none of that. They just walk up to you. You're unarmed. Trayvon Martin was unarmed. He approached Trayvon Martin. How do you then blame Trayvon Martin when this guy's armed and Trayvon Martin's unarmed? Make it make sense. Why did he need a gun? Y'all won't answer that question, Vitamin Hug. You won't answer that question. None of you will. You will not answer the question about Trayvon Martin getting murdered in cold blood and didn't have a weapon. You won't answer that. See? This is how I show y'all the unadulterated racism that's going on out here. Fake talk didn't even come back. Vitamin Hug, who knows what he's talking about? Jeremiah says, who's Trayvon? Come on, bro. You don't know who Trayvon Martin is? Trayvon Martin is the guy that George Zimmerman, the black guy that George Zimmerman killed in cold blood, who was unarmed. Who was unarmed. Unarmed black man killed in cold blood. And because George Zimmerman want to play like he's police and he ain't no cop. He ain't no cop. And the police told him, don't follow that boy. And he still followed him and killed him. The cops told him, yo, do not follow him. He still followed him, killed him, and got found not guilty. In y'all's court of law. You say you never heard of him? There's too many killings? Man, that's crazy you never heard of George Zimmerman. Man, I believe you, man. But here's the thing. See, this is why we have these conversations, brother. Because what George Zimmerman did, right? What happened with him? He killed that boy, man. Then he turned around and sued Trayvon Martin's family. What a cold-blooded individual. He turned around and tried to sue Trayvon Martin's family, right? No respect whatsoever this guy had, right? Unbelievable work. And he was found not guilty. And he told Sean Hannity the shooting was God's plan. Think about that. Think about what I said to y'all. Right? His co-worker said he was good at manipulating. Right? Now look at this right here. I'm going to show y'all. Since he act like he didn't know who Trayvon Martin is, I'm gonna show you real quick. This George Zimmerman right there on your screen. You see ABC did the article, sir? ABC says George Zimmerman, former co-worker. He's really good at manipulating. Now look at this right here, sir.
Latest on the case against George Zimmerman. Newly released tapes are casting doubt on Zimmerman's story about the final moments before Trayvon Martin was shot and killed. ABC's Matt Gutman has been on it from the beginning and has more now from Sanford, Florida. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning, Robin. Those tapes and documents shed new light on why the Sanford police behind me sought to charge Zimmerman with manslaughter. Now, it didn't seem like they had a lot in the way of hard evidence, but they felt that his story simply didn't add up. And as we're getting more information and more evidence,
they was going to charge him with manslaughter. He murdered a dude with a gun, an unarmed black man who was not bothering him. He just went and bothered him. Who had a bag of what? What was it, y'all? Skittles? He killed him in cold blood and was facing manslaughter, not even murder.
and more evidence from the prosecution. A former co-worker of Zimmerman's has spoken exclusively with ABC News, saying that he was mercilessly bullied by him and is not surprised by this case. Among the newly released evidence, this interrogation tape made just 3 days after the shooting.
They're going to ask me like we did her whole ass. Understand that, right?
On the tape, the lead homicide investigator asks Zimmerman whether he really was afraid of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin.
How come you didn't leave if you were scared of, it's like I said, and I wouldn't want to be in your shoes.
Although 1 day later, Zimmerman would pass a deception test. During the interrogation, you can hear Serino and another officer confronting Zimmerman about inconsistencies in his story.
I didn't run after it. No. I walked on the street name.
Once again, something else I got to try to explain away. How do you not know the 3 streets in your neighborhood you've been living for 3 years?
Zimmerman responds that his ADHD has caused him his memory problems.
To be honest with you, I have a bad memory anyway.
But in an exclusive interview with ABC News, one of Zimmerman's former co-workers at CarMax has no trouble remembering Zimmerman.
It's a name I'll never forget.
This man says he was bullied by Zimmerman relentlessly. He asked not to be identified because he fears for his family's safety.
He took that opportunity to pretty much put me as a target and to bully me around, pretty much harass me 24/7.
He says Zimmerman's tormenting continued for months.
The guy was really good at manipulating or baiting and switching and to making me look like the bad guy. He knew if I got with him in a physical fight, they would be on his side. And he was sure about that.
Eventually, after the coworker filed this complaint with his bosses, he says the harassment stopped.
When he was confronted with management, he was so convincing to the point that I doubted my own self.
Now, Zimmerman was let go from CarMax a couple of months later on an unrelated matter. Brought this up with Zimmerman's attorney, who would not comment. CarMax also said it does not comment on matters of personnel. Robin?
Matt, Zimmerman remains in jail right now. What is next for him?
He's got a bond hearing on Friday, and it could be pretty explosive from what we're hearing. Remember that back in April, he essentially omitted telling the judge that he had $135,000+ in the bank. So even if he does get bond this time, Robin, you could expect that it's going to be a lot more expensive for him.
Probably so.
Now, y'all seen that? Even one of his co-workers, even one of the people who's around him says, man, that dude manipulated and he harassed me and terrorized me. And they still found that guy not guilty. Then he had enough nerve to tell CNN he was the victim. Listen to what I said. Right? Then you had a juror right here say, hey, man, my first vote was second-degree murder. Look at this.
With Zimmerman trial, juror B29. Her name is Maddie. She didn't want her full name revealed, but she wanted to tell her story, and as you'll see, not in shadow, not in disguise. She is a 36-year-old mother of 8 and works full-time as a certified nurse's aide. She's of Puerto Rican descent. She lived in Chicago and moved to Florida just a few months before the jury was selected. Her attorney, David Chico, also joined us, and it was important to Maddie to express what it was like to sit on that jury. Take us into the deliberations. You've heard all the evidence. You've heard the closing arguments, all of that. You go into the room for the first time together as a group. Did you take a vote right away to see where you stand? No?
I didn't take a vote.
What was your first vote?
My first vote was second-degree murder.
And many people are wanting to know, how did you go from, in 9 hours, from feeling he was guilty of second-degree murder to not guilty?
It was hard. A lot of us that wanted to find something bad, something that we could connect to the law, because all 6 of us, well, let's not speak for all 6 of us, but for myself, he's guilty because the evidence shows he's guilty.
He's guilty of
killing Trayvon Martin. But we couldn't prove that intentionally he killed him. And
but they could prove that. But they could prove. Hold on. But they could prove intentionally in their minds that a dude with epilepsy by the name of Karmelo Anthony killed Austin Metcalf with a knife. But Trayvon Martin got killed with a gun and he was unarmed and wasn't even bothering this guy. Got a pack of Skittles. He goes up to the guy and the cops told him to leave the guy alone and he still went over there fucking with the guy. Make it make sense. Devilish.
About the emotion during those 9 hours from the initial vote of murder, second degree, to not guilty. What was going on in your mind, your heart?
I was the juror that was going to give him the hung jury. Oh, I was. I fought to the end.
Did you feel a little, for lack of a better word, bullied in the deliberations?
I don't know if I was bullied. I trust God that I wasn't bullied, but
do you feel that your voice was heard in that
My
room?
voice was heard. I was the loudest. Yeah, that's for sure.
You're a mother, as you said.
Yes.
You have children that were Trayvon's
I have
age.
plenty of children.
Yeah, but 8 of them. And what would your reaction have been? Your son going to the store, getting candy and iced tea, going home, altercation happens, and your son is killed.
I feel that I was forcibly included in Trayvon Martin's death. I carry him on my back. I'm hurting as much as Trayvon Martin's mom is. Because there's no way that any mother should feel that pain.
And you said earlier that you are the juror that could have made it a hung jury.
Oh, yes.
Do you have regrets that you didn't?
Kind of. I want Trayvon's mom to know that I'm hurting. And if she thought that nobody cared about her son, I could speak for myself. I do care. I couldn't do anything about it. And I felt like I let a lot of people down. And I'm thinking to myself, did I go the right way? Did I go the wrong way? I know I went the right way because by the law and the way it was followed is the way I went. But if I would have used my heart, I probably would have went a hung jury. And believe it with all my heart because I do have kids.
You wanted to come forward.
Yes.
You haven't asked for money. You haven't asked for a book deal. You haven't asked for anything other than a forum to be able to tell your story.
Yeah. I don't need money. I think time is healing, but Trayvon Martin will always be in my heart.
Some people have said George Zimmerman got away with murder. How do you respond to those people who say that?
George Zimmerman, George Zimmerman got away with murder, but you can't get away from God. And at the end of the day, he's going to have a lot of questions and answers he has to deal with. The law couldn't prove it. We just have to believe in the Lord that if he has to pay.
And them type jurors is what destroy cases. Them type jurors is what destroy cases. Now, she talking about, I got to follow the law. I got to follow the law. That man shot that man in cold blood. And she talking about, but then they going to tell y'all that Karmelo Anthony, oh, nah, man, he intended, even though he wasn't even the person that aggressed. He didn't even approach the guy. He got approached. Come on, man. Come on, man. 2-tier system, man. Like, share, subscribe, man. Shout out to Darius Robinson with a donation, $20 in the Cash App. He says they took that judge out the YSL case. Why not this one? Because you know what? I believe there's some stone cold racists down there in Collin County. I'm thoroughly convinced of that. I believe there's some stone cold racists in Collin County, Texas. And I also believe all those women that made all those sexual assault claims against the DA and the assistant DA. I totally believe it. Without a doubt. Totally believe it.
Hey, we always appreciate the support, and if you guys want to do so, you can use the Cash App or PayPal links. They'll be in the description box below this video or pinned at the top of the comments. The top donators will be announced every month. All right, you guys, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure y'all cop the merch, and make sure that you get the weight loss formula. The links to that will be in the description box below this video. Check out our next video coming up right now.